He's going for that TVMA LSVD.
Yeah, this is what the people
Oh,
want.
four. That's how you know it's a good episode of Family Guy.
Two of the first three books that I've read in 2026 are by Focus on the Family. What have you all made me do? Welcome to Talking to Tomatoes, the podcast where we talk about the Christian children's media that we grew up on, not only for the quality, but for the pernicious propaganda behind it. That was gotten in one take. And my name is Eric Eberly.
And I'm Jubilee Alexander. Eric, are you jealous of my child-free lifestyle over here?
You think I don't eat out of Tupperware containers just sitting
Eating out
around?
of Tupperware.
Yes.
Oh shit. And no one's gonna take care of me when I get old.
But today we're not talking about that. We're talking about the next in the Kidsboro series of books. These were a series of books
Oh baby.
Published by Focus on the Family, sort of a spin-off series for the Adventures in Odyssey radio program. And we are on book 2, by which I mean I had to read book 2, and I'm going to do a damn book report about it. This one is called
I don't know how to read, so
That's why we're doing it. This book is called the Rise and Fall of the Kidsboroian Empire, and oh my
I
god,
can't wait for the international comparisons and all of the biting commentary about politics. And how much of that do we get again?
none of it. Holy crap, we
Oh
get
my
none of
god.
it. God, ugh. Odyssey. Why do they set things up like that? Literally the opening scene. Like I thought, I was like, oh, they're going in a different. I was like, okay, I can roll with the punches. The opening scene is somebody, a new kid. I forget if he's a new citizen or this is like basically his like pitch to why you should let me join. His dad owns like a tent company or a tarp company and is showing them basically how to build their clubhouses with tarp walls rather than wood, which is important because the asshole Max from the southern scoundrel from the last book is the supplier of lumber to everything, and so they're like, oh, if we can build our clubhouses out of not wood, then we will have a way
Destroy
to
his family business
destroy the only successful
with our
business
Kidsboro bucks.
with all
Star
the
bills?
star bills and tokens as they're called. And so I was like, oh, okay, so they're not going like international like intrigue or whatever. They're going like it's going to be like a business thing. That particular business immediately forgotten. Immediately. I think it's like 4 or 5 chapters before the whole oh right, we're building buildings out of tarp now even comes back up, because we shift to Nelson, the sort of mini Eugene, who is making remote control cars that can like drive around and do stuff, and everyone's like, oh, we're gonna buy it. I'm like, oh, okay. So they set up one industry, but now they're going to shift to another. It's like, oh, that's fine. Nelson is one of like the 4 main characters. um Oh, should we introduce the whole concept of Kidsboro? Because this is going to sound insane to anyone. Set us up with
Yeah, people are like,
Kidsboro.
is this what Bible story is that? Kidsboro is a little town that John Avery Whitaker um, built for these kids to play in and to experiment with what having a real job in like real civilization is like. And civil that's too high minded, but it's just like, and they're in the very first episode of the radio drama, there were some interesting things. They were like, oh, we need laws, and they were like, oh, this
How does government
why do we
work?
need laws? And it's like, oh, it turns out when you don't have a law for something, it becomes easy for bad actors to, and like it got a little interesting and then just turned into a legal drama. And so the next book being called The Rise and Fall of the Kidsboroian Empire, we were like, oh wow, the Kidsboro is expanding. They're gonna make
I thought
non-problematic comments.
I thought like all the banished people were going to start their own city, and then the cities were going to come into conflict, or the next town over, or just a different group of kids who nobody knew, because the whole process of becoming a citizen of Kidsboro is very like weird and exclusionary.
Yeah.
And so they're like, we're going to start our own city. And then it's, oh, what happens when, two nation states come into conflict? But no, none of that. Because the next thing that happens is Nelson is going to be building basically somewhere between remote control and like robotic cars. It sounds way too complicated for this
My my.
level of thing, especially if he's getting paid Kidsboro bucks for it. But
I'm making actual for the early aughts. I'm making actual technological wonders and getting paid play money for
yeah,
it.
yeah, fake money for that. We also get some real tasteless expansion of the whole, because in the midst of all of this that happened in the last book, there's like literally two scenes where someone from the main character Ryan's past comes up and goes, "Don't I know you from somewhere?" And he's like, "No, no," and everyone goes, "That was weird." And then his internal monologue is like, "I can't tell them about my deep dark secret," and we're like, this is chapter 8 of 13. This is not when you introduce the deep dark secret. That's but the deep dark secret continues. I'm gonna have Jubilee. I sent you some quotes. I'm gonna have Jubilee read.
Yes.
This one quote contains probably 3 times as much information and like word count as we had about the deep dark secret in the entire first book. So go ahead, read number 2.
My real name was Jim Bowers, and he was the only one in Kidsboro who knew it. That's how you're spelling. Is that how they spell Kidsboro?
Yeah, that's how they spell Kidsboro. Kidsboro.
That's Boro. It's Burrow. It's a.
I
It's a.
It's too hard for kids to spell. Maybe I don't know. The kids aren't going to be able to. Their search engine optimization was so bad at that point. If the kids are going to spell Borough like 30 different ways, and then no one's going to find their books.
There. My real name was Jim Bowers, and he was the only one in Kidsboro who knew it. I had known Jake since we were kids in California, since before I moved to Odyssey. There was a secret surrounding my life in California, and Jake knew some of it. Wow, tell me more. Now he was spending his summer in Odyssey, harassing me here, just as he had done in California. Since the day I had run into him again after 4 years, I had tried to act like I didn't know what he was talking about when he called me Jim. But he knew my real name, and he knew I was running away from it.
Okay, so this kid Jake shows up. Yeah, Jake and Jim. God, they really scraped. They really worked hard on differentiating these characters. But yeah, this kid comes in real witness protection style, which spoiler alert shows that in a completely out of nowhere and not in any like detailed way commented on. There's a real problem that he's running away from: an abusive father who got like an abusive alcoholic father who like got drunk and scared them, and so they literally fled the state to a domestic violence shelter. And then they were like, well,
Oh
you
my
can go to
god.
audience. Yeah, it comes out of nowhere, and I'm like, how is a kid like this isn't an 8-year-old who is like, yeah, some weird stuff happened. This is I think he's 13 or almost 14 years old. Like, this kid understands.
So and he knows they've been in protection for several years.
Yeah, I mean,
Jesus
it's not
Christ.
technically it's not witness protection, but
But again, it's like it didn't just happen. He knows what it is, and he wasn't that little when it began, so he knows that they're running.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that's
they
very
put the
strange.
timeline on it, which I believe puts him at 8 years old when they fled, and it's so
Jesus.
yeah, a very tasteless thing. Are you good?
Hmm.
Oh, you're eating. That's why. I'm like, oh no, what's the matter?
I'm just so touched by this story.
Yeah,
This half-assed story.
such a touching
The
story.
dialogue, the writing.
But yeah, I will say, as a book construction, this one was way better than the first one. Like,
Oh,
I
they're
I,
learning. I love that for
I
them.
know he learns how to like write dialogue in a narrative form and stuff, but and then they set up all of the weirdness about this is actually like a serious problem, and Jake has this one little line that they explain it a little eventually, but adding to the confusion of the throw around. He's like, what's your story, Jim? Why are you hiding out here with a bogus name? It's not because you're scared of me, is it? Surely you don't think I'm still mad about that whole detention center thing. Which he got him in trouble for vandalism or something. I didn't write it down. It's not important. It doesn't come up. Jim or Ryan got him in trouble, and so now he's. I feel like a kid, even a kid like that. It feels like this. There's not a parity in the stakes of you got me in trouble for a legitimately bad thing I did. I'm going to blow up your whole spot. That the fact that your abusive father, who we learn later, has left California and no one knows where he went, and then they're like, shit, he's coming to find us. Go ahead and read quote 4 real quick.
I also considered telling Mr. Whitaker. He was the only person in Odyssey besides my mom and I who knew the truth about our situation. When we moved to Odyssey, we immediately knew he was a person we could trust. Because
Yeah,
she's the boomer grandparent stand-in. A yappy old man who, hangs out and tells everyone everything all the time.
he's not a pastor, he's not an educator, he's not someone who you would be like, oh, they understand how these situations. He's just
In
a guy.
government.
And again, I cannot stress how unimportant this is to the whole thing, other than setting up Jake as an antagonist, as the person who is constantly holding things over Ryan's head.
Wild.
And in typical Odyssey fashion, it you're gonna think that I'm bad at telling stories, which may be true, but it is so chaotic and disjointed. And then we go, what are we doing? It literally introduces the concept of investing in at the beginning of the chapter where Nelson tries to start a car company because he can't afford to do it him he's only one person is but I can't afford to pay people, and so Ryan invents the concept of investing, and so there are all these people who invest money in his company, and then he can hire other workers and stuff. And by the end of that chapter, and this is like an 80-page book, so these are not long chapters, they have all but forgotten that because somebody else wants to film a movie. He's a pretentious film person who owns the Cineplex and is we're going to start a movie. And then it just becomes all about the movie sort of thing. And I'm like, how are we already moving on? Because I thought the whole I was like, oh, we're doing the, the rise of the Henry Ford company or something. And,
Yeah, or it becomes a local industrial powerhouse or whatever, or it
and
just
how
becomes
how
more
does that
interconnected
work?
things rather than I'm here, I live in my house, and I'm the inventor. It's no, let's make companies, let's make projects.
Oh God. And uh, I feel like the movie might have been sort of an afterthought because there were some little things that were thrown in. I'm just gonna. There's a section where the mayor basically asked to approve this script, and they have this one line where he goes, "I wanted to see the script so that I could decide whether or not I could support it as mayor. I didn't want the citizens of Kidsboro imitating Hollywood morals in one of its own productions." And it just becomes a whole thing. The movie, as a professional actor myself, it fucking pisses me off because it's such a basic. There is I should have pulled it out, but it was so long and drawn out, many pages of a scene where they were trying to film a scene, and something funny happened, and everyone was continuing to trying not to break through it, and it was described. It was the most excruciating detail of, and then so and so started to laugh, and then someone was like, I gotta continue to keep my lines straight, and continued. And I was like, you could just say, just somebody yell cut, please. Someone fucking yell cut. Ha ha ha. The thing is on his face, but it's a 5-page sequence of.
Digital cameras exist. It's not. We're not actually trying
It
to
is
save film here.
2008. I don't think that I don't. They don't get into the technology of it, but that becomes this whole thing about the movie, and the guy who's making the movie wants to be the lead, and he, despite all of that, he put like a kissing scene in it, which of course Valerie, the ingenue lead, who's the mean girl from the last book, is cast and is now pissed off because she doesn't want to kiss him. And I was like, this is Odyssey. Like, I don't think anyone is kissing anybody. This is like, I read Focus on the Family books about this. Like, this this is not what we should be doing.
Degenerate Kidsboro would.
So I'm sitting here trying to figure out where everything's going, and then immediately it goes back to legal drama mode, where somebody steps on and like hurts their ankle on one of Nelson's little electric cars, kind of a thing, and then is like suing him for all of his money, and then it's like it's a whole thing, and it gets into the nitty gritty of like objections and stuff, because like Max is backing the kid who got hurt. It's such a confused, and I at one point you're just reading it and I'm like, why are we back here? We did this last time. And then of course Ryan literally says at one point he's trying to make Nelson feel better after they've like closing statements and the jury goes back to deliberate, and he goes, hey, you know what? You can trust the judgment of the people in the town. No, they can't, because literally every judgment that has ever happened by the Kidsboro courts has been a huge miscarriage of justice. Again, spoiler alert, this is insurance fraud, essentially. They lied about everything that happened. And the last book, they got a kid in trouble and banished him because they thought he was a criminal. He wasn't. It's like, what do you mean you can trust the Kidsboro legal system? They have only ever made bad decisions. Oh my god.
It could almost be interesting for him to be like, don't, like, I remember hearing my dad say, don't worry, you can trust. Like, it could make sense for them to say that and then be like, wait.
What about Roberto? What about the person who sued the newspaper?
I almost mean like, maybe Ryan could even be like, I remembered this is something I should say. Like, I want to believe that the justice system in Kidsboro is good, but it happens to produce bad results sometimes, which is a very true thing and a lesson worth learning, and honestly a lesson I think more kids could learn. I would have been such a fucking dweeb if I wasn't like, oh boy, the courts are so cool. I got so much pussy in high school, you guys. I
didn't. Oh god, and right at this time, so Nelson loses all of his money and goes bankrupt, and the company shutters, and all of his investors are pissed because they've lost all the money that they put in. Basically,
you can't do your thing, can you?
Yeah, exactly. And at the exact same time, everybody is annoyed with Jake's the other. Pete is the director of the movie. They're about various things. Valerie's pissed off about the romance scene. Everybody's annoyed at the length of the hours and doing night shoots. One of the kids is the stuntman and is like, I don't want to crash my bike into trees anymore. And they then they're like, we're going on strike unless you meet all of our demands. And he says, I'm not meeting your demands. And they're like, cool, we're on strike. And so literally the line, like within a week, 2 of Kidsboro's biggest industries were gone, because it's like everybody is buying cars and everybody is working on the movie, and then they're both just shuttered. Of course, for whatever reason, and then Max starts bailing everybody out. He pays Nelson to so he can continue to make his cars. And then you start to feel I'm like, oh, they're trying to say something, but it's very weird and confusing, because he pays Nelson so he can start building better cars. But then he's like, I want design input, and he makes worse cars, because I get, again, what is the message that's being sent? Outside investment is bad or bad outside investment, because it's not like Nelson was building these cars as like a homegrown, sweat of your brow libertarian sort of a thing. He was only able to do this because of outside investment, but now Max's outside investment also comes with strings attached, which, I mean, again, it's like, what are they trying to say? Max basically, the bad guy Max basically buys
Yeah,
all of
I'm
the.
like, I'm having this big picture thing where I'm sitting here going, I there is a way with at which us, because we are approaching this as we're like, this is fundamentalist children's fundamentalist Christian children's media, and we're kind of like, there's a part of us that I feel like we're like jumping at shadows where we're like, what are you saying about, like, what, wait, this looks like something, what are you saying here? And it keeps being nothing. But then I also feel like it's dumb to be like, we're like, this book for 8-year olds sucks. But it's
Yeah,
just, it's confusing because I'm like, what are you doing? Because like, it could almost be an interesting, like, they seem to both have no message and have bad entertainment. Because like, there was one episode I listened to that we haven't done yet, that I was literally like, I don't know what the message is here, but this is hilarious and like fun, and I'm enjoying listening to it. You know, I
yeah,
just feel like you could hide a message better in a higher quality product. But when it's low quality product and there seems to be no message, I'm just like, what are
yeah.
we doing
I mean,
here?
if they took the sort of the and I don't know if you can exactly call it like an evil, like the Pixar approach, where it's like those movies are made for kids, but all the stuff in them is not for kids. Like if it was a subtle little message, and then the parents who are like, let me like check over this, because again, we grew up in that world and feel like adults would absolutely read through these books and be like, let me make sure that this is good, like good morals in there, and be like, oh yes, they're shitting on like industrial
Industrialism?
investment. Well, again, it is specifically
Haha, they made fun
framed.
of Hollywood. I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you.
Yeah. They make fun of Hollywood, and they which again, it's us jumping at the shadows a little bit. I like that. I like that phrase. Which I don't think all of the things that we're jumping at are shadows by
No,
any
no,
means.
I'm
Like,
just saying like, I'm saying there are instances. Well, sorry, let me clarify what I was saying. There was, I think we are trying not to, like, we're like, look, at the end of the day, this is media for children. It's not high art. It doesn't need to be perfect. What we are looking to deconstruct is the fundamentalist message. But there are lots of instances where we're just like, okay, this is stupid. This is stupid. What's that? What are they? Oh, okay. And sometimes there's nothing there. But yeah, it is
yeah,
just a
yeah.
funny way to be reading this.
Again, what is the message? What are they trying to get? Because nothing created here. Things aren't just accidentally in the background of Kidsboro. It's like these things are put here for a reason. Was the reason I'm Marshall Younger is bad at telling stories and doesn't know how to stick with a concept, or are we like, oh, we're gonna shit on industrial investment or something, or I don't know.
What if you get to like book 4 and it's like this big like Marvel style thing where you're like, oh, the tarps from the book 2 and the
You're gonna make me
bicycle jumps from
you're gonna
number
make
1.
me read the books 3 and 4, aren't you? God damn it. Okay, we're gonna have to space this out because I'm not reading 2 more of these books in a
No,
row.
no, you we'll do
We'll
something
take a
regular after
break.
this.
So yeah, all this stuff goes under. Oh, and then they start a bank, of course, because of course they do. They start a bank, and guess what happens? There's a run on the bank, and
Oh,
as
like
things
gold
start to.
standard.
No, not even a gold standard. There's the banker is the one.
What what the fuck are they do? Like, what are they actually doing with the bank other than just this is something you're supposed to do? Like, is
I
it to
mean,
protect their money?
no, it's to it's so that like they look at the investment in Nelson's company and like that's good, but what about people? But what about everybody else? And then it becomes honestly kind of a relevant thing for a very like I don't know low I don't know financial literacy situation to be like everybody is sitting on all this money and not doing something with it. what if that money was going to make businesses and stuff, and so the bank is giving out loans, but then of course, when after that thing with Nelson, something else happens, and everybody needs to pull the money out of the bank, um, because the businesses, I mean, it's typical stuff. The businesses that got the loans are failing because nobody has jobs because of this lawsuit that bankrupted Nelson, and the movie thing is shut down. So nobody has money, so all the businesses fail, so all the loans fail, so everybody's money is out in loans that they can't recoup. And so everybody
And this
comes
is
in as
how the
like,
subprime mortgage crisis happened.
are you fucking Christ, this book came out in 2008.
Sure did, didn't it?
What the fuck?
But it means it was written before then.
And oh god, I mean, this is the
600
second.
pastors had to look at this, and
So the bank all but fails, and Max is basically takes control of everything, and everything he touches gets worse. There's a sequence
Max
I'll
or
have
Ryan?
you read. Read number 12. This is, and to be fair, this is actually three like disparate quotes that are all in the same scene, but I mushed them together. Oh yeah, go ahead and read.
Pete was getting a scene ready when Max showed up with a script in hand. Okay, I've made some changes. What? Pete said. You know, Max. I don't think we can do this. Why not? This is, kind of disgusting, and there's some bad language in here. Valerie wasn't yet done reading the page, but she was already shaking her head and saying, I'm not saying this. I'm not doing this. I'm definitely not saying that. No way, Max, Valerie added. I'm not saying that stuff. Forget it. Oh, come on, Val. I've heard you say stuff that your mama wouldn't be too proud of.
Like what?
Okay.
It's and no details naturally on what was other than
He's going for that TVMALSVD.
yeah. This is what the people
Oh,
want.
4. That's how you know it's a good episode of Family Guy.
Yeah. So Max now fingers in everybody's pies, and everything is worse because of
I
it.
need you to not say Max Fingers. Max Fingers and Pies in that close
Max has
proximity.
become the puppet master with
Much better.
who's got control over everything. There's this little plot that I think has like is probably in a lot of ways the most offensive thing in this book. That it's kind of subtle, and so I'm not gonna have you read the quote because it's hard to explain. But so Max, or sorry, oh, these fucking names. Ryan's mysterious antagonist from his past is like, hey, I want in on Kidsboro. And he's like, nobody knows you. He's like, oh, I think you'll make it happen, or I will tell the story of your abusive father, which, and stuff. And so he goes to the city council to convince them, but he can't explain in any like, not even basic stuff. He's completely unconvincing, and eventually just says, hey, you all I need you guys to trust me, which, in this situation there's actually like real stakes in this moment of, hey, you're my friends, I need you to trust me that I need this guy to be here. And they go,
Oh, I see. Stakes because if he doesn't get in,
he's going to tell
blow it
about
up
the
and yeah.
mysterious secret. And they go, okay, I guess we believe you, and they vote him in. And then there's I'm gonna read it because it's really pissed me off. So this is after they've voted for me. They both gave me an awkward smile and pretended badly that nothing was going on. I turned back around and tried to act like I wasn't affected by this scene, but I had a feeling that their level of trust in me had taken a hit. Okay, so to contextualize this, that he has asked them in a thing that where he's obviously like a little bit scared and unsure, but he says, hey, my friends, I need you to trust me. And they say, okay, we're doing this because we're your friends. And the message that is very internal to him, that is then being shared with the children reading this, is having your friend, like, trust is like this, like a transactional trust.
That's immediately what I thought. I was like, what?
Sort of thing.
Again, if he asks them to trust him and it goes poorly, your trust could be like your ability to trust that person would be damaged shifted, you would think about it a little bit harder. But yeah, that sounds really transactional in a way that I don't understand.
And yeah, because again, because this is the entire book is from the perspective of Ryan, and we're getting it. This is not just a. This is not them being like, "Hey, that's pretty crappy what you're doing," but I guess we're going to do it anyway, and so we're going to continue to vote. Um, but it's like so internal, and it's and not really challenged in the way in a way.
For being a thing that is internally happening and then to have them spell it out when there are so many instances where they don't spell out what the message is, that's like that's really blatant to be like, this is what this means, this is how I'm feeling about it, and this is what's happening. Is
Yeah,
yeah, that's fucked up and
or
weird.
even to kind of to pull it out, it's like what is the, if this is like sort of him being punished for lie, I mean for lying by omission, I guess we would say, then like what is the message then is he supposed to tell everybody about his actually serious past? Is
I know
he
some Christians who are like that, like you absolutely like God, it's a different another a great podcast is called Tribulation Farce. Is these X two ex evangelical Christians reading through the Left Behind books, and the characters in these books won't lie. They will lie through omission. They will not be forthtelling or something. But the mental gymnastics they do all the time, and the hosts are just like, he's the fucking antichrist. You don't have to be nice to him. You don't have to be good to him. I don't think the Ten Commandments apply.
except yes, even the antichrist, you have to be honest too. But yeah, and
Don't you
anyway,
lie to the Antichrist, or you'll go to hell.
I mean, there's not even there's not like a satisfying payoff to this whole thing. I mean, the closest thing is after the mysterious guy from the past is voted into the town, he cozies up to the Max, the bad guy, and of course Ryan is spending the whole time being like, "Oh, has he told Max? Is he gonna have leverage?" And is like trying to like undermine them, and then all of his friends are like, "Why are you undermining the guy who you said was good?" But which again puts him in the position of, I guess I gotta tell, which he actually doesn't, but that's like the thing that would solve this is him telling about his past. But hang on, I forget how this whole thing ends. Okay, and the legal whole thing gets blown up at the end because it turns out that the kid who hurt himself on Nelson's thing, first off, their investigation is absolutely an insane thing that happens. They're like checking like looking at maps and looking at photograph evidence, and this is all done like through text on the page where they're trying to explain that it doesn't make sense because Nelson's cars only took this path, but he said in court that he was going this way instead of this way, so the only way he could have done it is if he came up behind, and the foot imprint on the thing is backwards, so it means he ran up behind and like stomped on it. And then the kid literally had stolen some stationery from his doctor's office to fake the doctor's note saying that he was actually injured from that he had
Oh,
and
stationary thought. In my head, I was thinking prescription pad. I'm like, pretty sure that's a felony. Like, no.
no, just literally some paper, which had some of the best jokes in the thing where because of course they go and drag the doctor into this, who is very, I'm sure, in violation of a ton of HIPAA laws about what he will and won't share about. Yeah, he totally came in. He's like I can't tell you why, but then they showed him the note and they go, this doesn't make any sense. It says he pulled like a cardiac ligament or something like that, and I was like, okay, that was
Cardiac ligament.
that was pretty funny.
That's very good. Oh,
But
damn,
then
a
they
cardiac ligament. I think
but
my
then
uncle died of that.
then they drag the offending child, the children drag the offending child to the doctor's office, and the doctor's just like, oh, nice to see you again, like he's not being dragged by the ear by
An angry mob of children.
yeah. And so basically everything goes backwards, and once again, I can't remember if it's the mysterious stranger, because he's not the one who gets hurt, or it's the guy who got hurt, is banished from the town, and once again will not like go on the record saying that Max put him up to this. So Max is sticking around for another book, even despite that at this point he's approaching Joker level of like complicity in all the bad stuff that happens. Oh my god, I'm gonna have you read a final quote that comes out of the nowhere. There, it's in the final scene. They finish the movie and it's bad, but it's like it's bad, but it's ours. And I'm like, hey, I can appreciate that. I've been a part of some bad
Yeah.
film stuff, and you go, hey, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool to see yourself up on the big screen, even if it's not that good. This is a scene between Ryan and Jill, I believe, the newspaper reporter, editor girl, and it comes out of nowhere. So go ahead and read number 13.
She looked around at the stars and the trees and then closed her eyes. Her black hair flowed in the breeze like it was floating on water. She opened her eyes and looked at me. You're not going to tell me what's going on, are you? I knew I was talking about my sorry. I knew she was talking about my relationship with Jake. One day I will. Do you need me to tell you something personal? Is that it? You want me to go first? No, that's not it. I'm deeply uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable.
All right, all right, I'll go first, she interrupted. I think you're perfect. Perfect? Pretty much, except for all those nasty little secrets you keep. Other than that, you're flawless. Well, that's quite a compliment. It's not a compliment, just an observation. She shrugged it off. I hate that you made me read that. What
Hey,
the
I had
fuck
to read
was
it,
that?
so you have to read it too. And now you all
I
had
had to
to
do it
listen
on
to
camera.
it. That's on forever. Yeah, I got to suffer in private.
Oh my god, that's so weird.
I mean, I know it's the sort of thing where we're just like, we already hate the people involved in this, so we're like, yeah, fuck you. But it's like, I mean, there is part of me that's like, okay, what? It's an adult writing a book, and there are children in it, and the children are in middle school, so something like this is gonna happen. But it's just like the poetry that comes out. I'm like, I don't want to read poetry about a 12-year-old. Like
Yeah.
that's not what I'm interested in. Yeah, and then it just kind of ends. The immediate villain has been taken away, but the series villain is still there. Nothing's been fixed other than the fact that they literally like 2 pages from the end they formed the FDIC to ensure that the government of Kidsboro will insure the
How?
deposits.
How? With what? With what money? No one's got any money.
I am so I so need of more. Gosh, and I know these the writers who make
You
this
want like
shit.
10 books where the economic problems just become a bigger and bigger issue. Till it's not even about kids anymore.
They're all adults struggling with subprime mortgages and stuff.
Oh
Um,
my god, dude.
yeah. So what this has to do with the rise and fall of what empire? Nothing fell. Nothing. I
Is
mean,
it the rise and fall? It's not the decline and fall, is it? It's the rise and fall?
let me just double check that the rise and fall of the Kidsborian Empire,
Okay. I mean,
which
decline and
literally,
fall is the yeah. Decline and fall is the name of the first non-hagiography attempt at history.
right,
I mean, I'm
right.
sure someone else did, but like the famous one by fuck, I cannot remember that guy's name. Doesn't matter. It's not it.
Yeah.
This work does not merit that kind of scholarship. Anyway.
I mean, the closest thing is the fact that like Max sort of had like a rise and eventually a fall because he's like literally they renamed the city to Maxborough or Maxopolis or something. I didn't care
Why?
enough because he owns everything.
Oh.
He bails
I
out.
mean, that's just a Pottersville. That's just it's
Yeah,
a wonderful life,
Pottersville.
Pottersville.
It's Pottersville. Sort of a thing. So it's like that's his rise and fall, but yeah, it's super uninteresting. The next book is called The Creek War. Okay, I was just gonna say here's the name of all the chapters in The Creek War: Poetic Justice, The Competition, The Better Town Advantage, Betrayal, The Wall, Bad Blood, Basic Training, The Rescue Squad, War, and The Bridge.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, I just saw Better Town. So maybe this is what they had a delay. They were like, they got to the end of last book and they're like, oh crap, we forgot to do any
Oh, we
sort of.
didn't do any of that shit. We
Well, we've
started
already
talking about insurance.
the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation and stuff like that. So yeah, fun. I think next time we're going to take a break from this, so I don't have to try to read one of these books in a week again. Oh my god. Two of the first three books that I've read in 2026 are by Focus on the Family. What have you all made me do?
You gotta go read something now. You gotta balance that out. That cannot be good for you.
Someone send me some leftist smut, please, so I can cleanse my palate.
Go read For Whom the Bell Tolls by J.C. Lynn. It's
Okay.
got demon smuts. It's got way better morals in it.
Yay! Awesome. Can't wait. Yeah. So I think next time we're gonna do an episode of the radio program, and then we can kind of intersperse those because there's only two more Kidsboro books, and then we can find something terrible to make Jubilee read. So we put it at the end of the video of the video versions of this, but send us suggestions. We're more than happy to look at any media that you grew up with. We'd love to we would love to be surprised by something because we
I
are.
wonder if Christchurch has any shitty children's like web series or something.
Oh God. Oh, that scares me. Someone's gonna have to look into that. We need to get computers and with a separate internet and burner card accounts so that we can do all this kind of research without fucking up our own algorithms.
Skylink accounts to a
Yeah,
completely in what are they VPNs?
exactly. In the meantime, you can follow us on our various social medias. We have right now the podcast itself is on YouTube, Talking to Tomatoes,
We've also got it on TikTok. It's Talking to Tomatoes. And you can follow me on there. And I'm Titan of Joy on TikTok.
and I am Eric.Everly on TikTok. Talk to you later, tomatoes.
And I'm Chris. Rest in piss. Oh shit! I should have had something better. Emperor. Rest in piss, Emperor Maximus.
Maximus. What's his name?
I didn't say Doctor Wilson this time. Also,
Yay!
rest in piss, Doctor Dobson.